What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 400 of Opinions May Vary. I am your host, JR. I have my co-host with me, Alex.
Hi.
The funny part is he's not with me.
No.
I'm alone. I might sound weird because this is the second time ever.
Mm-hmm. Last time was a snowstorm.
Yes, it was the aptly titled episode, whatever it was, snowed in. Because we were both snowed in. I couldn't make it over to Alex's house. Now there's a health crisis with potentially dangerous viruses, and we're playing it safe.
We're practicing our social distancing.
We are social distancing. We are being good social distancers. And I'm currently sitting in my office at home while Alex is in the studio doing all of my usual duties and recording. So hopefully I sound good. I have a kind of a makeshift setup in front of me. Otherwise, luckily you're not going to hear much from me live this week because we have, I kind of glazed over it at the beginning. This is episode 400. This is the 400th time actually 401 because we had the one shot with Joe way back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Either way, it's serial, and also we had the Starwell, but it's episode 400. And
it's also the 8-year anniversary.
8 years. This kind of worked out perfectly.
It did.
It was to put it like Bob Ross, it was a happy accident. Totally the math just happened to work out when we switched over to bi-weekly / semi-monthly, however you want to do it.
And then I was doing some calculations to see if we could plan this out. Because there was a point or two we were considering throwing in a third episode, like an extra episode in one of the months. We're like, well, I think we have the content. And I go, eventually I would look at the calendar and go, we shouldn't do that yet. We should wait on that.
Just trust me on this. So yeah, we're doing our 400th episode / 8-year celebration. We're going to talk for a couple minutes, and because it is our anniversary, historically, Alex always puts together the anniversary montage, or the best of recap, which we're going to have for you in a little bit. But first, we did want to talk, and we wanted to thank some people, and we have been doing a countdown on our social media. Or actually, we just wrapped it up. A countdown on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook is facebook.com/opinionsmayvary. Twitter is at OMV Podcast. And then Instagram is Opinions May Vary, all one word. And we've been counting down our individual top 8 episodes because we've been doing this for 8 years. So Alex is like, hey, how about we do a top 8? It's like MySpace back in the day. Back when, that actually meant something to a lot of people. And you'd get angry messages if someone moved down in your top 8 because it was the best way to throw shade at someone.
And then I thought, but we're combining it. So it's actually a top 16. Then I said, shut up, Alex. Don't think about that.
It's individual. Yeah, it's individual top 8. And then also we're cheating. It's actually like a top 30 because we have a bunch of multi. But you can go and if you haven't been seeing those lists, which, algorithms may not have shown you, but hopefully you've been seeing them if you wanted to see them. I feel like the lists are, first of all, when we came up with this idea, I was like, yeah, that'll be easy. I have a lot of ideas in my mind of what my favorite episodes have been. Mm. And then I actually started going through the episodes. And when my initial list, I was just taking notes yep, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one, which most of them are, in my opinion, especially ones with guests, because they carry us and we can rest on their laurels.
We're probably never going to do a best of justice episodes. Pick our favorite top 4 justices. That's not going to be entertaining.
Yeah, that's painfully true. But my initial list before I shaved down to the top 8 was something like 37.
I had like 28 maybe.
And I was like, oh God, I have work to do. And then getting it down to the top 8 was extremely difficult. And like I mentioned, we cheated a little bit, with, you would pick the Super Art Fight guy, gang.
Mm-hmm. Which is 5 episodes.
Which is 5 episodes and like 12 different people.
I think it was only 5 or 6 people because Brandon was on twice and Mikey was on twice.
Yes. Yep.
But I really couldn't leave any one of them out just because we all became such cool friends. Yep. Which is one of the things that have been neat about doing a podcast is making friends. It's like, you think you do it for the glory and for getting popular and for all the exposure dollars that we have now and all the ads revenue that we sell. There's none.
So much of it.
But it's just been so cool having, like that gang, anytime they consider coming up from Baltimore to visit Connecticut, and they go, we have to check in with the OMV guys. We have to check in with, Vicky and Alex and Jar and them. And so that alone has been worth doing this.
Oh yeah. It's absolutely like 100%. And I've said it before, like in episodes and on the YouTube and all that stuff way back in the day. Like it's the people that we've met doing this and like it's like another happy accident, like, because this show, while it started as just kind of like, oh, I that seems fun. That seems achievable. We could probably do that. It turned into like a vessel for me to meet with and talk with people that I really admire across like multiple industries and mediums, and like that I otherwise wouldn't have had the chance to talk with, like in this capacity, I guess. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Not sure if I'm just kind of speaking nonsense, but it's afforded me the ability to talk to really cool people.
And even if I had only ever encountered these people at conventions, like, I don't know if they would have remembered us versus like I saw Daniel Govar and Tony Moy in Chicago, where I don't belong.
Yep.
And their first thing was, you don't belong here. You don't normally do this show. And I'm like, no, I don't. I do Boston.
Why are you here?
But like, we got to talk that out and recognize that. And it was fun that someone remembered me.
It's really neat. And we did have, and these lists are in no way like, it doesn't exclude, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like it was very, very hard to make these lists.
Yeah.
Because every guest brings something unique and fun. Like I can probably count the number of times on one hand where I was like, that could have gone better. Like sometimes it's just,
I do want to talk about that briefly.
Hit it.
I do want to say, like, we had a guest that ended up not happening. I'm not going to name what it was or who it was or what the reason. Yep. So it was a representative of an organization. And in my research, I was psyched looking into the stuff we were going to talk about. In JR's research, he found a controversial item and topic involving the rest of the organization. And it was so problematic that we just axed that guest. We didn't want to go on with that chat. We didn't want to promote the organization. And it was like watching JR's face to try and tell me, like, I feel like you wanted to like try and break it to me that you didn't want to do it. And you just weren't quite saying it. And I had to be like, do you not want to do it? Because this is a perfectly good reason not to talk to this person. So we had to cover. We scrambled and we covered. Like, I don't want to give any hints as to what it could have been, but we agreed that they shouldn't get any publicity from us, and that was a tough call. But like, amazingly, it was the first time that's happened since 2012, since we started the show.
It took 7.5 years for that kind of thing to happen, which I think is,
and we're not blaming the guest individually. It's just the thing he was a part of. Which
the organization they were associated with has made some problematic contributions and whatever you want to say. But yeah, it was I was very because like I was just reading and reading and reading, and like as the more I'm reading, the more I'm like, oh God, oh God, because like I know finding guests is the 5 times that I've done it is exhausting. And the fact that you've been doing this for I don't know how long, like 7 years,
about, yeah.
that we've been actually like hunting for guests and stuff like that. Like, you know, I try to throw props when I can, but goddamn, dude, like it is. So like when that happened, I was like, you know, we've been looking, you know, contacting the guy, like, you know, going back and forth. Like it takes a lot of work, especially because we don't, like you mentioned, you know, we don't get paid for this. We have never made any sort of positive money off of OMV. It's been 8 years of spending money to make this show. Totally worth it, if you ask me. But like, you know, so this is all on your own free time when you're not working, you know, and doing things that you actually enjoy. And I'm not saying you don't enjoy doing it, but, you know, leisurely time. You're using your time to talk with these people and try and get guests so we can entertain our listeners and all that stuff. So I know a lot goes into it. So to see something like that and be like, hey man, I don't think we should do this. You know, it sucked and I didn't want to say it.
I was watching you struggle. Like the studio was set up, the microphones were on, ready to go.
We were just like minutes away from connecting.
Like, and I'm just watching Wetjar's head sink deeper into his hands. Like,
yeah, it was brutal. But luckily, like you said, that's the only time that's ever happened. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it will remain the only time that ever happens. You know, it is what it is. We covered for it. Very good friend of ours helped us out, and we made it work. We did have some honorable mentions, I guess, if you want to say, like, yeah, because top 8 is a very limiting number when you have a pool of 399 things to pull from. So we did want to shout out a couple things, and we did have some duplicates, like on one of my, your number 2 on your list was our chats with Charlie from Sketch Prices. He was in one of my initial like cut downs, and I can't remember if I checked with you. I was like, hey man, is Charlie on your list? Because I need to make sure, like,
you didn't ask, but I think you probably knew anyway.
Yeah, I most likely just assumed. But narrowing down these lists was real difficult. And there are some individual episodes that I wanted to throw props to that I thought, they could have easily interchanged onto my top 8.
Did you go back and verify? Did you like check episodes to make sure it was one that you wanted? Because there's a few that I knew, and then there's ones where I had to give them a new listen just to make sure.
There were a couple that I did go back and like listen to a few minutes of, just to be like, okay, I need, like, the one of my top 8s was very self-serving, but it was the PAX Unplugged recap. Mm-hmm. And I was like, in my mind, I feel like that was a good episode, but like, am I just saying that because I want it to be? So I went back and I listened to the entire thing, and I was like, yeah, that kicked ass. I'm awesome. But
I went back and listened to our chat with Jason Ginsberg of Fake Theme Park.
Fake Theme Park, yep.
And on Twitter and Facebook. And unfortunately, the connection wasn't great. Yeah. And there was we missed a few things from Jason, like had to get him repeat stuff. And just by that, I can't say, like, it was fun to talk to him. And Fake Theme Park is a really fun account to watch, especially if you've ever worked in theme parks or like theme parks in general. He hits a lot of stuff right on the head. And the talk with him, like, I can't say that was a good episode because the audio wasn't up to par. And like, it wasn't either of our faults. That, the internet can only do its best to transfer a signal from California to Connecticut.
Wasn't a 5-star call,
right? Yeah.
In terms of quality, but that was a very fun chat. I love Fake Theme Park, and we actually, like, a lot of our friends who worked at the theme park already knew about Fake Theme Park, so they're like, holy shit. And they were excited that we got to talk with him. That was a rad one. One that I had on my Let's see here. One that I really like. This one was a very tough call because it was like it was pretty much in the top 8 the entire time. But I was like, you know what? I think this it's not quite there. It's probably like number 9. Would be the chat with your niece Megan and Allie.
Okay.
From episode 387.
Yeah.
When we talked about robotics, and that was one of those episodes going in where I was like, I don't know about this. Let's see how this goes. And it ended up like halfway through, not even halfway through, like 10 minutes in, I was like, okay, this is going to be great. That was probably my favorite episode of the last year, if I had to guess. But like, that was such a fun episode. Allie and Megan just hit it off. It was great talking with people that are smarter than us, and who are going to achieve great things.
Thankfully, that being Megan's, I believe, 3rd episode, and she's not shy anymore. So she was willing to just let it out. And having someone that she could look up to, even though they just met, it's like, I wanted to have her meet someone who's doing what she wants to do. And they just hit it off so well. And she was so willing to, to talk about what's going on and her issues and problems and what they're into. And they have similar experiences and think they like the same stuff. And Allie being supportive, also saying like what's the common, what she's been experiencing. And, and even them like, both of their responses when I'm like, what's your favorite tool? Like, they're like, are you serious with that question?
Look, we don't know a lot about this.
And thankfully, in case Allie does listen, she's been keeping in contact with my niece Megan since then. And when a competition comes around, or she'll see an article about girls welding, she'll send a clip over to Megan and say, thinking about you. And there was like a contest of with the school, not quite a scholarship, but like an award thing. And there was an interview to go along with it. And Megan was nervous about this little questionnaire and interview. And I said, well, you should ask Allie what might be involved with that, because she's probably experienced it, either conducting the interview or answering her own. Right. And that's, it's a resource that she has now. And I can't thank Allie enough for giving us her time and inspiring my niece more than what she's already been into. Yeah. So just like connections like that have been a lot of fun.
Yep.
One of my runner-ups was our chat with Carly Wynn. A Harley cosplayer from out towards Boston. What's been like, we had a lot of friendships in our tops, because as cool as it is to talk to Christopher Hastings, who's written issues of Deadpool for Marvel Comics, we're not real good friends. So we're not super comfortable around each other. We're not going to like really get vulnerable at all. Mm-hmm. We might not feel free to like really spin off on some weird tangent. Whereas Carly was super comfortable. We're talking comic books. She knows so much about comics. Jara's feeling left in the dust. It was fun. And then she spins, she goes, can we talk about video games? Like, now we're talking about video games. And we're talking about cosplay. And it was so easy and natural. It's just to flow through it. And it's one of those times where the episode seemed really short, but it was a full-length episode. But it was just easy, to do a lot of stuff because you're just chatting with a friend. Versus someone like you're worried about if you're going to embarrass yourself in front of them.
Yep. Yeah. And I do get that, because I did have in my like, initial list, the episode with Chris Hastings was on there because that one was a ton of fun. We had Joe with us. Mm-hmm. Joe is essentially the one who kind of introduced us all, at least me, to Chris Hastings with Dr. McNinja. Mm-hmm. And it was a great episode. We chatted about Hearthstone for a while. We got completely off topic, just totally derailed. But I get what you're saying, because like there's like the nerves, because like this person is someone of stature and
have to be professional.
Yeah. Yep. I also like in the same boat, like our chat with Keith Silverstein, mm-hmm. which was just 2 episodes after Chris Hastings. Keith Silverstein, the voice of Torbjorn in Overwatch, and also about 10,000 other things. But the main thing was I was like, oh hey, I like Torbjorn's my favorite character. I'm gonna reach out to Keith Silverstein, and miraculously they got back to us and we got to chat with him. And like that was on my initial list, but I was like, I don't know if it's one of my favorite episodes because again, like we're in professional podcast mode, and it does have a different feel to it than someone like Carly, where it's just like you just kind of not nuzzle in. That's a weird way of putting it, but like you just it's real comfortable right away. But what's another one that I think we had a similar thing with Ellie Hillis when we talked about Because Comics.
She was definitely real close to tops.
Yeah. Yep. She kicked ass. We actually had her back because she kicked so much ass.
I think it was within the same month or like just a week apart.
It was very, very soon, and we were like, "Yo, can we talk to you again?
Can
maybe."
We keep
going? And she was more than happy to. I don't know about more than happy, but she obliged us.
You're gonna hear from her later on. Almost everyone we're talking about will be in the medley clip, the best of.
As long as they were in the last year.
Yeah.
Hastings and
Carly, not so much.
And like those were all a while ago, but. Ellie was awesome. That was such a fun episode, and that was all just based off of you went to Nerd Night.
That was the one I did. We did that one together.
Right. Yep. And it was, hey, you were cool. I also do a podcast, and then it was great. That was one of my favorite ones too of the past year. So again, that's another one that could have just easily been swapped out on my list. Like pretty much all of these are just interchangeable.
Let's see. Oh, I'm not saying numbers. Carly was 284 if you're interested. And also runner-up was number 290 with Evidence of Evil. That was Dave and Bobby. We got anytime I get to talk with other haunt people who are into building haunts and know what it takes to run one and then act in one and do makeup and plan, just all the planning for it and the execution of it. And you don't have any free time through the month of October because you're just working on your haunt. And to hear them, share what they have and share their knowledge, really lends to what we talked about with Bill, who made my number 3. Bill with one L of Many Haunts, One Family. It's just like we shouldn't be in competition because we should work together and we'll make a better product that way. So that was a big part of talking with someone who does the same thing as you and being friends with them.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. They were the one, they had the escape room, right?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And the zombie laser tag.
Yep. Absolutely terrifying. No, thank you.
In
a good way.
My last honorable was that I finally got to do an April Fool's Day.
Yes. Oh man.
I had been trying to convince you to do an April Fool's since we started. And I would pitch an idea and I would get no response until,
because I remember our first one, which I was on board with doing, but then stuff happened. I don't even want to get in that, but, cause the initial idea, maybe I won't even say it. Maybe
maybe someday it'll come right.
Later on. But it was fun. And even with this one, I was like, I don't know, maybe, because it's such a fine line when you're doing an April Fool's prank to is this funny? Is this going to make people feel stupid? Are they going to get upset over this? And I think your idea was good. It didn't make people feel dumb. It wasn't, ha, you're an idiot. You didn't get this.
It made one person feel dizzy.
Yeah. But, it was silly. It was fun, go back and listen to it. I think it was released on April 1st of 2019. I can't remember what do you have the number?
Yeah. 367.
367.
Which would make it the first episode after last year's anniversary.
Right.
I believe. Yep. Yeah.
So just make sure you have headphones.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to it, because you will need headphones.
Yeah.
Unless maybe you want to get dizzy. looking at my list, if I want to throw out one more, I can't even pick from these. Like, I might just fire off a couple of them. Our Transformers episode with Adam way back in 117.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot of fun. I got to play with toys while we recorded. I love talking fighting games with Ken, especially like because there are so few. I've been such a casual follower for so long, being able to be like, oh my god, this person knows what I'm trying to talk about. Those are always fun.
Ken's episodes, him, and then one of Kyle's recent ones. But Ken, like, bless him, he walks in with a plan, and like he has a beginning, middle, and end to what he's talking about for us. Like, he already has a format for what he wants to say in his head, and he delivers it well, even with me asking dumb questions and you knowing what he's talking about. And he just progresses the entire show for us. And it is fun having him. Yeah.
Yep. And then two others before I wrap up my thing here. Jason / Chocolate Ninja. He blew our damn minds. Spoiler alert, he's going to show up a bunch in the best of, because he was just so fun and just so motivating. And
I was going to bring him up later, and I don't know if I want to agree with you now.
We can revisit.
Okay, we'll come back to
him. And then finally, Lisa Kapitsky from Vixens on Guard. That was probably the most fun I had all year during an episode. She was great. It was great learning about that. I'm excited to hopefully see them someday. It would be, maybe if we're ever able to go to an event again without the fear of pandemic.
Hey, distractions. We're having fun. This is fun.
Yeah, we're having fun. We're not even going to call attention to it. So those are kind of my honorable mentions. Again, any of them could have easily been switched out on my top 8 list. And again, you can check out all the social media. It's all over Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you wanted to see our lists. The actual straight up top 8s. They're in really no particular order, but I think they're very diverse. I think they're full of people who are way more interesting than us, which is the goal. And I hope everyone enjoyed it.
It's time for our medley.
We're going to listen to
our best
medley.
Of compilation. It's the clips that I took that I got one pass over all the clips and arranged them together, and I was at about 40 minutes. And I've still got more left, so maybe we'll do a B-side later on.
You're getting this down to a science.
Yeah.
It's and like this, like usually there's like a little bit of stress, like, okay, I have this many left. But like this year, I think I heard from you once, and you're like, okay, yeah, I have. Excuse me, burping on air. You're like, I have like 7 to go. Should be done by Thursday. Like, it was painless almost, at least from my end. As I sit around doing nothing but playing Animal Crossing. So yeah, we're gonna play it. I'm going to stop rambling so you can listen to our best of. It's our year 8 best of montage, the best moments, in our opinion, of over the past year. So I hope everyone enjoys.
I'm going to edit everything out so that it just seems like we're just seamless.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it all in, actually.
Like, don't call it that, because that's not what it is.
We may have some varying opinions in this episode. Yeah, one of the rare in 392 episodes. This is about the 4th one with an actual made possible disagreement.
I tried to be fairly tight-lipped before, but now that I'm actually going to be working on the thing proper and under an NDA and all that, it's like I'll be reluctant to say like, yes, I drew someone in wearing a cape today.
Well, they weren't in a cape last season.
So there's a cape, huh?
Yeah.
I want to start cracking jokes, but I don't know if they'd be.
Right. Yeah. I figure once this thing's printed, there's not a lot they're gonna do. They're not. Hopefully, they're not gonna sue me. I've still got all the emails from them.
I think the flavor text, like whether it's on either on like the front cover, or like is it tacky to put your own quote? But it should say just in quotes. Hopefully, they're not gonna sue me. Rich Woodall.
Right.
Oh man, I hope we can use that someday.
Yep.
I always tell people, I was like, you should become an autodidact. And then they look at me just like you just did, and it's like, yo, what's that?
I give them the head tilt.
and then I tell them to look it up, which I'm going to tell you to look it up. Look it up, and the meaning of the word autodidact.
A self-taught person.
Exactly. And then and because you look it up, you just taught yourself something. And then they smile. And then they smile.
Son of a bitch!
This is why we had you on today.
and and then they smile and they grin. I'm like, yeah. So continue that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ryan Otley cared that we were naming him, the best artist of the year from Opinions May Vary. When recently, just browsing that, and this actually a couple weeks ago when we were seeing about having you on, Alex had sent me like a couple days later. He's like he was just on Newsarama. It's like, damn, Newsarama's stealing our shit.
We got scooped. This is bullshit. It got to the Q&A session, and someone was asking the question of, so I want to buy a new sewing machine. What should I look at buying? And the answer was, get one with a lot of stitches, like a lot of variation of different stitches. And I was, and to myself, I'm like, so what, like 5?
Yeah. No, it's like 30 or something.
Yeah, so Vicky's she's like a minimum is 30 or 40.
You're just like, okay.
And I was like,
Yeah,
there's more than that?
I'm like, okay, sewing machines are black magic. You just like, I don't know. Have you guys ever actually looked at the mechanics of how a sewing machine works?
I tried to take one apart to fix it and couldn't put it back together.
Oh, that's
so
such a terrible idea. Like even if you look at like a GIF or like a video of exactly how the mechanism works in slow motion,
okay,
you just look at it and you're just like, how is that physics?
It's when what you just said a moment ago. It's literal black magic. It doesn't
amazing.
It doesn't make any sense. And in the right hands, it's just
it's so easy.
you can create wonders. But then
I know.
I
own a sewing machine. I've made pillowcases on it. Like,
I too have made a pillowcase.
That is the limit of my sewing machine knowledge. Again, I'm working on it because I'm sort of a collector of skills. But
people used to do those with a foot pedal, like the pedal cranks the machine to make it sew.
Honestly, that would probably be easier. It's slower. Rather than pressing the button and just be like,
yeah.
Yep.
And now
there's a needle through my thumb now.
Now my finger's sewed. Yeah, exactly.
Which is a lot like making a film. You work with people to help bring a vision to life.
Man,
that sounds so fucking pretentious. Wow, to bring a vision to life. Gagged on my own words.
I've heard worse. It's okay. But you're right though. If your tails are off,
I was watching an episode with my girlfriend. We were watching an episode of Sugar Rush on Netflix. Great, baking competition show. But like one of the contestants, when it's like doing a little thing where they show the kind of montage of them talking about themselves and their work, and it was like a husband and wife couple, and I guess like the husband does the baking and the wife does the decorating. And at one point she said, "I'm a visionary." And then she proceeded to make the ugliest, like, little fondant thing that you couldn't really decipher what it was supposed to be. But the fact that someone was actually saying out loud from their face the words, "I'm a visionary." Stanley Kubrick never said, "I'm a visionary." Mm-hmm. He said, "I got to get this shot. Here, move over." You don't say, "I'm a visionary." So, anyway, sorry.
Jared, note that down. Make sure I don't say that.
Yeah, I'll make sure to call you out.
What I'm trying to say is I'm a visionary.
No one's going to deny that.
Not having, if you didn't size your coattails out right, and like your coattails were just not, that would be such an embarrassment. I couldn't even imagine.
I wouldn't be a visionary.
Exactly. That's how you lose visionary status.
That's true.
Is by
Visionary. It's called visionariness, sir.
See, I just lost mine.
You lost your visionary card.
There, it just became a rabbit hole that I will willfully jump down.
So what? That's 5 years ago.
Yes. And I've only been cosplaying for about 4 years, 4 or 5 years now.
Because, all right, you pulled off some great costumes.
Yes.
I was gonna say, there's a little bit of anger coming at Alex right now.
And so the way Johnny defeats that guy is he uses the flavor changer thing, and he points it at him, and he turns his hands to chicken. And he's an electric villain, so anytime he uses his powers, it smells like chicken.
It's like, and Twitter's it's so full of, how do you do, fellow kids? Because all these companies who are on Twitter are trying to, be trill and like...
They're trying to post yeet memes.
Yep.
Wow, that caught you pretty good.
It did. Yeet will never not make me laugh.
Even if we know what yeeting is, this just doesn't fit.
There's a guy who puts Mortal Kombat compilation videos together, where he just trolls people online, and he does it with he'll edit the video with funny sound effects, and he always puts in the yeet guy, and it kills me. But yeet memes, that's a good one. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my knuckles. Yeah, yeet meme. Yep, that's going on my knuckles.
And it's kind of our version of Mxyzptlk, where it's the chimp from the fifth dimension, and he grants Maxwell Adam 3 wishes, and the whole time you're like, just wish for your hands to be not chicken, you're just waiting for it, and he's too greedy, and he wants revenge too much for that to be his first 2 wishes. So
when teaching yourself, is there a point where you want to learn how to fail so you know how to do it yourself, versus when someone else is teaching you, they go, well, we don't do it this way because that's the wrong way? But if you're never told that, then you might get it right and do it the wrong way, and it works out for you.
Totally. I would say failure is my greatest teacher.
So, kind of like starting your own
I've
business.
failed a lot.
Oh, really?
I've failed a lot. Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't want to get into too much of father talk, but is that a personal thing, or would that end up being a thing of well, if I mess this up, my dad's going to be disappointed in me? Because I would get that way too much.
Not only my dad, but everybody else around me. Nobody wants to fail, but everybody does. We're not perfect. Yeah, but it was more. I just wanted to be good. I wanted to be good.
And we are sold out in the Artist Alley this year already. It's getting earlier and earlier, year after year, that we're selling that space out. It's getting actually a little scary that we're, a quarter of the year prior to the show, and we are completely out of space in Artist Alley.
That's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, absolutely. The inverse is less attractive.
We were talking about roller derby, the derby of rolls. This time we were talking about something much more generation. What does Gen mean in Gen Con?
Geneva. It was for Lake Geneva.
I don't believe you.
It was.
So is Gen Con short for Geneva Convention?
Nope.
That's misleading.
It was originally put on right outside of Lake Geneva in Minnesota, some state that started with an M, in 1963.
I'm already learning.
It was still fun for me.
Okay,
I'm not sure how to get to it.
I was going to say this later, but
yeah.
I have never seen Alex with a bigger smile on his face than when he came out at the end of our haunt, of our extreme haunt. That was
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I worked on a production of this a couple of years ago, where at the first rehearsal, the dramaturg stood up in the middle of the room and gave everyone a very intense lecture on why the theory of this play being cursed is bullshit, and like sort of laid down the law and was like, in this house we will say Macbeth. And it took a while for people to adjust, and you could see like a little bit of fear on people's faces. I think at this point it's mostly just like a cultural thing. Theater people just don't say it, and so to say it feels very taboo.
Nice. And like sometimes the intro, it's like he'll still be doing the intro and you're 2 minutes into a 3-minute video, so you're like, damn, he's gonna pick this real quick. Like within seconds. Jeez. And it's the best way, the easiest way to put it is it's no bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the best. It takes away all the garbage about YouTube, and it's just, I'm a lock picking. I don't know if he's a real lawyer. I'm assuming he is. And he picks locks, and like he puts out like a video like every day almost with like different types of locks.
One of my favorite things is when he'll pick a lock, and then the lock manufacturer watches that. And is there just how I'm like, fuck!
The auto lock. He did one.
He did a bike lock recently, and he showed like
he added a whole new level of enjoyment that I was like I wasn't ready for.
It would appear
it's a thing that lets me buy more things, but I'm already paying for it. Why can't it be Netflix?
Look, Amazon.
I don't have to buy extra shit on Netflix.
Amazon doesn't have the money to offer services like that, Alex. It's just plain dollars and cents.
With all the taxes they pay. They
yeah,
can't afford
exactly,
it,
dude.
all those taxes.
What, you expect Jeff Bezos to take a pay cut?
He can't.
He's too busy sending rockets into space.
Yeah.
And then landing them again.
Getting
that
divorces.
Look like dicks.
Dang.
Oh, we got a new droid. Did anybody talk to the droid yet? No.
Dio kicked ass.
Like, did anyone ask it?
I love Dio.
As soon as it turns on, I'm like, oh, it's been with him the whole time.
Voiced
That's
by
what you're
J.J.
saying?
Abrams.
Is that true?
I believe so.
It's been there.
Good for JJ. He needed a win.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the Bechdel test. Like they're becoming super pervasive in like the modern zeitgeist. Even though like Fridged was a Gail Simone joke back when she was like a comics blogger in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bechdel test was just a comic about lesbians by Alison Bechdel and how they don't have conversations in movies, so like none of the female characters can be lesbians. And it's fascinating to see how they've kind of like mutated into cultural relevance.
Wait. The Bechdel test was started as a comic?
Yeah, so Alison Bechdel, who is the writer of Fun Home.
This wasn't like a scientific study of some kind?
No, yeah.
No.
This thing is fascinating.
She originally had a series of like one-page comics about like lesbians in I think the 80s and 90s. And one of them was two lesbians walking home from a movie discussing how female characters never interact and how that means there can't be any like lesbian coded interpretations of them. And so one of the characters was like, well, I only watch movies that pass this test.
Mm-hmm.
And the test is that female characters have to talk to each other and they have to talk about something other than a male character. And that just eventually got called the Bechdel test. And then Kelly Sue DeConnick, who wrote Captain Marvel, kind of mutated it to the sexy lamp test, which is if a female character could be replaced with a lamp that looks sexy, your movie's not good.
I got
so
him.
there's
Wow.
your little history lesson on weird comics influencing culture.
I guess I'll admit, as a shitty male, I hadn't researched the term until I heard it in I think it was Every Frame a Painting, which is a guy who would do like video essays on movies and stuff, and I think he did Serenity. He had mentioned in the first 10 minutes of Serenity two named female characters interact without talking about and he's like, so it passes the test. Wait, what? And that's what made me like look into it and figure it out and be like, right, this is oh my god, this is an important thing.
Well, and what's so fascinating is like Alison Bechdel is on record being like, yeah, no, that wasn't my intention when I read the comic. And I think it's a really unnuanced way of looking at movies because like just because something passes those two like absolutely simple and easy tasks doesn't mean the movie is good.
True. Yeah.
And we say they're simple and easy, which in theory, they should be, but it seems people struggle with them.
When I say
right?
that, for sure.
Yeah, it seems people struggle with them mightily, to the point where, I mean, as we were talking about this, Best-Of test. I'm butchering the pronunciation, excuse me, but like, it has its own lengthy Wikipedia article, based on a comic that, like, even she said, like, that wasn't my intention, but like, still, I think it's important. Maybe people will cool it. It's not gonna happen, Alex. I'm sorry, but
at least make it cheaper. Yeah. Don't be $12 or $9.99. Just be like $3. Just $3 a month.
Disney, they don't have the money to afford something like that. You gotta pay up, dude. Disney needs that. They need that dough.
So, like, I think Craven has, like, some kind of, supernatural juice that makes him kind of strong.
Just gagged at supernatural juice.
What's like Black Panther's flowers, but, like, not like that. It's not as potent or whatever.
I have the luxury of my favorite Pokemon is an evolution of, like, the most popular Pokemon in existence.
Enlighten me.
Oh,
what's the global?
The new game isn't going to have every Pokemon in it.
Yeah, it's only going to have some Pokemon in it.
Because there's like 900 now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'm okay with that.
And like people are furious.
People are super, super angry because like they're like, this slogan's got to catch them all. And I'm like, hey, honey, they haven't said that in a long time, my dude. And like, I don't know how many people actually go out and try to catch them all. I do have friends who do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's very time consuming. All I care about is having fun with my handful of favorites and like trying out them new Pokemons and seeing what they're like. But like.
And then ultimately going back to Dragonite, which is I do every game.
Yeah, I always have Growlithe on my team. Let's be real. Like,
what were those, 3 1/4 inch? I guess.
Yep, that was my jam too. I was all about Real American Hero.
All the elastics connecting their parts.
Mm-hmm.
And, yep.
Mm-hmm.
The fun thing, if you had braces as a kid, and the O-rings broke, and you had like little tools like Dennis hooks almost. You could reassemble them using your braces rubber bands.
Your elastics for your braces.
I did that a lot.
I didn't know you had braces.
I used to sacrifice guys. I'm like, this is for this. I'm sorry, this is for Duke. You can't. I'm sorry, Sci-Fi, but you suck. Duke is in charge. These are the hard calls that I have to make because I was obviously General Hawk. Like I had to make the hard calls, and I would replace the O-ring. I would take an O-ring out of one guy and put it in another.
Uh-huh.
It's sad. I'm sorry that I had to do that, but
that was the time.
Was just weak. I don't know. What does Sci-Fi even do?
And that was the time we lived in. It wasn't just like we can't just go out and get another one. Like we don't have money for that. We got to salvage.
No. Hard calls, hard decisions need to be made, and that's what a general would do.
Get out of here, Snow Job. I don't need you anyway. Your name is Snow Job.
See, this is where
we have one mission a year to the Snow Job. I think we can figure it out. I think we got this.
This is where I unfortunately am the amateur, because while I did have G.I. Joes growing up, every single G.I. Joe was named G.I. Joe. And they were just made for, throwing across the room and, we're going to tie a parachute to him and throw him off the roof. And I unfortunately did not give it the proper attention.
Their names didn't last long with me because I gave them new names.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And nowadays we're spoiled because you could just buy a pack of fresh O-rings off the internet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Kids these days.
There's no sacrifices you got to make anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to bring up the big con job.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like people, when I was a kid, I thought I could draw, but I learned I can't. And and I can imagine people like wanting to draw Wolverine. They want to draw Batman. And then the story comes along where it's like, yeah, man, just draw like old people in huge crowds. Like just give me big crowds.
Oh my goodness, those crowds. I do not miss those crowds.
Being, kind of like an OG yourself, like, is this kind of like the renaissance of is this great? Do you love it? Is it kind of like, whatever, I was into it before, it was cool? Like, what's your thoughts on the D&D culture these days?
My thoughts are, my people have won. We've taken over the world.
That's what I like to hear.
Because we were like the original nerds in high school that, like, skipped out pretty much our whole senior year to go play in our friend's basement.
Do you remember like your first character?
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course. Is this something you like to talk? Would you mind telling us?
He was a half elf thief, of course, because that was the coolest.
That's the cool one.
Yep. That was squirted into my mouth. At like it was held up against a
choir concert.
Okay. From a mostly naked man.
Okay.
With a swastika on his chest, who was I guess a gay. I don't know what. A gay Nazi. I think that was what he was supposed to be.
A Gotzi.
Gotzi.
Okay.
Creature of myth.
We.
Can you literally do anything you want as long as it does that objective, or is it like it cannot? You can't have it be more than 3 feet tall, or like.
Yep. Definitely
no
like
flamethrower.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no flamethrower actually has been a rule.
Yep.
That's a
wait.
Which means someone broke that rule.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Okay. One of the things I like to ask people, or that I've been gleaning, since we've been doing the podcast, is that to make it today in the in the world in the industry, is that you have to be a jack of many trades. So if you can know how to take pictures, you know how to edit, you can act, you can write. Like, are all these like super necessary, or can you get by on like maybe if you're pretty good at one thing, or do you really need all the tricks now?
I don't honestly. I don't know if it's just a now thing. I think for a very, very long time, the more skills that you genuinely have, the better off you're going to be. I mean, you look at people who, made it in the industry, 10, 20 years ago, people like Edgar Wright. Well, Simon Pegg as an actor, well, he's also a writer. And in fact, most of the things that he became known for and popular in are things that he wrote. Seth Rogen made it in things that he wrote, content he created. You need to be able to, whether you're a performer or anything, you need to be able to, in some way or another, create your own content, because no one's going to come knocking on your door, asking you, hey, you want to come work for us and we can give you money? No, you have to get people's attention. You have to create content yourself in some way or another, and give people a reason to remember having seen you. You need to, and it's the same thing with, that thing I said before with the Joker Facebook page, as far as always just put out new content because you never know what's going to stick. It's the same thing in any field. Just always have to put out new content, because eventually something will strike a chord with someone that'll hopefully lead to another job. But even after that point, you still have to keep it up.
I don't suppose you got to keep any of that. To be like, you got original Ivan Rice,
No, I know, right? Okay, so Ivan it was really easy to work with, and he lives in Brazil.
Yeah.
And when I was reaching out to him, I'm just gonna tell you this story. I don't care if anyone gets mad at me about it, but the DC artists, they don't charge a ton for the stuff they're working on. Like, I could hire somebody in the U.S. to work on something at just a local illustration house, and they could charge me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had hired him to do some pencil stuff, I had him do an entire, all 6 members of the Justice League at that point. Mm-hmm. And he charged me a couple, $300 each, basically his commission rate for the figures.
Right.
And I was like, Ivan, you can charge me more. This is not I'm not a fan I'm a fan, but I'm not someone at a convention. You can charge me. And he's like, no, that's the going rate. It's fine. I was like, oh my God, man, this is beautiful art. And then so I asked him, can you send me, because he did Poison Ivy, he did Mirror Master, he did, what are some of the other ones he did? I think he did Atrocitus for me, and the Poison Ivy he did was stunning. It was just beautiful. So I asked him, can you send me the original? And so he sent me a scan of the drawing, and I think there was a miscommunication, because what I was really hoping is that he would just mail me his giant comic sheet.
Yeah.
But he was drawing it all digital. Huh. So there was no original, so to speak. He just sent me his pencils, because a lot of these guys, they work in in a digital format now. So
Right.
I tried. Believe me, to answer your question, I tried so hard to get it, but just working with them alone. So I actually have a print on a nice piece of paper. I don't know, it's not fancy or anything, but of that poison ivy, because it was just so stunning.
It's another instance of, and we do this frequently, when you find out that people you admire are good people, and it's just it's such a relief.
Yeah. It's like, do you still practice a lot, or is it a lot like trial and error that you have to do before you can confidently establish a gig?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still have a lot to learn, man, but I feel like I have enough skill to where I can see something and I know I can tackle it.
There's a lot of people.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think the both of us are just kind of like dumbstruck because neither of us, like when we have to, because we are like, I think Alex is kind of in the same boat as me. It's like, I need to do this thing. Let me overthink this for like weeks to the point, and then it's just gonna get put off.
I'd recommend not overthinking it and you know, doing what you know, but it does take practice. You don't learn this shit overnight.
Right. Yep.
It takes a lot of practice.
That sounds pretty rad. I would like to go to one of those sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a.
I will tell you, as a recovered fan, this is the hidden gem of the show.
Yeah.
You buy a ticket to this thing, you get a pretty nice dinner, you get an awesome gift bag with tons of graphic novels in it, and you get to go to a happy hour, a cocktail hour as we call it, and socialize with the pros. I wouldn't show up there with your sketchbook and shove it in front of somebody, as much as you might be tempted to do that.
Right.
Again, putting on my old fan hat. But no, you can just go up and chat with Walt and Wheezy Simonson. You know, hey, how was your day at the show? What are you working on now? And
I have a Kickstarter page right in front of me right now for the newest volume of Lovecraft PI, The Curious Case of Reanimator, which already sounds terrifying. There's a movie called Reanimator, right?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves? Is that Keanu Reeves?
No,
it's not Keanu Reeves.
No.
I don't know where you got that from.
Maybe I'm thinking of Johnny Mnemonic. Those are the same, right?
Just stop talking.
I'm gonna let Alex take over while I retire from podcasting forever.
They did, and it's interesting because the ones you get are the ones that you would never like. Everyone has their own favorite Pokemon, and they're all like the weirdest ones.
Yeah.
It's like Gudra. Why is that anyone's favorite?
He's a slimy boy.
He's a slimy boy. Yeah.
He's like a slimy dragon. And like he's just constantly dripping.
Yes.
I think he evolves from like Sligo or something like that.
Yeah.
I always tell people, you know, you are your own worst enemy. All right? And you have some external stuff. You'll be like, oh, you know, I'm African American and I cosplay and I'm into the nerdiest things out there. I'm into K-pop. I'm into all sorts of things. Things that wouldn't be typical for somebody in my demographic. And, you know, growing up, I definitely got, you know, teased and picked on and things like that. But, you know, as I start to become my own person, you know, at the end of the day, you only have yourself. You know, those people all those naysayers won't be there, you know, when you turn off the lights and you're sitting in the comforts of your room, you know, playing your video games or listening to whatever music you want to do. So just let that extend to the rest of your life and not just the four walls of your room. You know, if you're into something, be into it and then love it. And then at the same time, if there's something that you're interested in, go at it wholeheartedly and decide if it's for you or not.
One of my Because Comics moments, and this is a little pretty. I don't know if anyone reads Invincible here. Invincible spoilers, and I guess this could also go with the tone of the comic itself. But the ending battle between Invincible and Thrag.
Okay.
Do you remember that? In the sun.
Yeah.
In the sun.
What?
Because we have to. Are you kidding me? So we have these two, when they punch each other, like, oh, I punched you real hard and I broke your arm. Like, damn, that's how strong I am and how fragile. Oh, but now we're fighting in the sun. So that was one of my Because Comics moments. Was, you know, moments ago, like, oh, you're strangling me. You're strangling me. I can't breathe. I need oxygen, but I can survive in the sun. Like, they're literally like diving in and out of the
pushing
molten,
each other into it.
Yeah, it's absurd. Because comics. Another because comics was when the New 52 started.
Is that it? Just the New 52?
One could argue. One could argue.
Excited. Force Awakens, like that flashback when we get of Kylo Ren like destroying the temple, and he's got like his boys with him, like the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't fucking wait for these dudes. And they were so cheesy and like dorky.
They just stood still.
Like they were just like a boy band. Like they were just like a bunch of
They're
like
backup
edgelord
dancers.
kids who was like, I'm here, and they all get wiped out. And like something that I find really, really interesting is Rian Johnson was asked, how come the Knights of Ren didn't show up in Last Jedi? Like, why not at that big fight when like Kylo Ren turns on Snoke and shit? Like, why were you fighting just like red dudes? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, the Knights of Ren presumably have some kind of emotional connection with Kylo Ren in some way, so it didn't really make sense for me to just wipe them all out in a big fight. And then in this one, they don't do anything, and they just get wiped out, no problem. It's just so funny, because, like, J.J. Abrams, like, invented those guys and then didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This person who runs Shock Theater is a marketing genius. Or madman.
A little bit of both.
So, wait, okay. I'm going to be the dumb guy for a second.
Yeah.
Just a second. So what you're saying is that there's a chance the concept of a person suing the company for their soul back was manufactured fiction.
Was a work.
There's a possibility.
To make hype.
Correct.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you said if you believe that. I was like, if you believe that you sold your soul.
Oh, no. If you believe whether or not somebody actually did it, or whether it was a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Recently, they got in a lot of trouble.
So I just want to ask, like, well, did they give it back to him, or did they keep it?
I believe it was an out-of-court settlement.
You get to go through again and like double mortgage your soul.
You know, if I cut my hand off, oh well. You know, I'll know how to use it. But you just
Won't
go
do it
up there.
again.
And
Wait,
usually,
hang on. The old guy talking, did he have all his fingers?
he's damaged a little bit. Like he's got calluses and scars all over his hands. Just shop hands.
But
Like
are the fingers there, though?
I mean, mostly.
See, when they talk a lot, it's because they want you to keep all your fingers, too.
John doesn't listen to our episodes, so he's not going to hear this, but I got him the pin that he wanted.
Nice.
He wanted Space Madness of a spaceman wearing a straitjacket.
That was a good pin.
He asked me Saturday night if I gotten it, and I avoided the questions on
Nah.
other stuff instead.
Nice.
And also,
Nice.
this is going to be a surprise.
Pulling an Alex.
Oh,
It's very true. It's very true. It's exhausting.
but it's exhausting. Is that what you said?
Busy as all get out.
Per usual.
We are heading up the makeup team for Ravenwood Haunted House, up just north of Salem, Massachusetts. It's a farm haunt, as I think I mentioned earlier.
Nice.
It's unique. It's a 1950s theme. No clowns, not a one.
Respect.
It's
Wait,
a little
does that
bit-
mean there's a lot of clowns? I
He did
I don't
it.
know anymore. I don't know what's
You
real.
don't know what's real?
What is real?
You know, it's good to be on this side of the Alex. Yeah.
Is this what I've been doing to people?
That's a good idea. Sure, we should have been doing that.
We should like immediately as Anthony, as you were talking about like how each season had like a different focus. I'm like, God damn it! Why didn't we think of this? But then,
You know, I mean, honestly, I think it initially stemmed from. I mean, I'm a huge TV fan, and I love it's always exciting when there's a season premiere or a season finale, and I think that was probably a big piece of it. Was that you can have a fresh beginning and then build to a conclusion.
well, again, congratulations on the new job. I'm sure you're gonna do my main man Connor Ken proud.
We're writing him out of the show.
Perfect. Perfect.
I should have mentioned up front. We're writing him out of the show.
You know, you'll give him the send off he deserves.
I shouldn't say joke. I can't make jokes like that anymore. People will take me seriously.
any sort of, because I feel like this would be a very powerful show for a lot of maybe whether it's a young girl or a woman who may want to kind of get into this type of thing, but maybe they feel like gender norms or stereotypes might be restricting them, or they might, not quite know how to get into it. Do you have any advice for someone looking to get into something like Vixens on Guard, whether it's stage combat, performing, something like, do you have any sort of advice for people who might be interested in what you're doing or something like that?
Yes. Number 1, screw the gender norms.
Yes.
Just fuck them. Get rid of them. They're terrible.
That's going in the highlight reel.
So, first of all, just don't worry about it. Which is obviously sometimes a very difficult thing to do, but that's sort of the whole point of our company and the shows that we do, is saying we've been told, and especially in the time period of the show, but unfortunately carrying through to today, there are so many groups of people, and we are really only able to speak out for women in this context, but there are so many groups of people that are told this is who you are, who you're allowed to be, and the group and the shows are standing up and saying that's just not true, and we're going to do whatever we want, and we're going to do it better than you.
391 of opinion. Could you tell I lost my notes? 391. We've had our share of fanboy moments where, like outside of New York Comic Con, like, oh hey, we bumped into Ryan Otley and we chatted with him for like 5 minutes, and it added absolutely. That's our second Ryan Otley reference of the day, by the way. Or give a follow and all that. Mash that sub button. Is that what you're supposed to say? But
mash that sub button. Man,
yeah.
You kids with your terms today.
Yeah. It felt wrong saying it, but apparently it's the thing
It
you're
was.
supposed to
It was
say.
wrong.
But this was amazing. Thank you both so much for coming on. I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Thank you for your nepotism, Alex.
Yeah, sorry. What was the question? I got lost when you were looking at pinups.
Yeah, that's one of our strengths is not actually asking a question, is just making a statement and then hoping for a response.
That's fair.
Being like a kind of a student of the game yourself, do you lean more toward practical? Do you lean more like, are you kind of like a mix? Like, what are your thoughts on?
I'll let you answer that question. What do you think I like?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say you're more practical. Let me know if I'm right. Did I nail it? I nailed
All
it.
the way, baby. All the way.
No, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I always have fun coming on. We got to do another one where I just come on. We can just talk about somebody else's comics.
Yeah, we're okay with that. We're 100% okay with that. We're always looking for excuses to talk about comics. So if it's with another comic creator who knows more shit than us, that's even better.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'll know more, but I'll throw my 2 cents in there.
Because I sold Buffy comic books, and I shelved Buffy comic books, and I received and unpacked and repacked, however you want to put it, for years and years and years, not knowing that the man responsible for the art in those books was eventually going to be on my podcast, which I think is just, it's a neat thing, It's
But it's excusable. It's excusable.
Yeah. I mean, there's always time to get into things, even if it's late. We talked about like Twitch and Fortnite and all that shit before.
We talked about Twitch.
We talked about Twitch at length.
Yeah,
but
I've kind of usually avoided,
and aborted at the same time. It's late. It's a late one. We're having some fun tonight.
That's why it's a justice.
Yep, we're having a good time. I'm officially rambling now, which means it's time to end. So Jason, thank you so much for coming on, man. This is great.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's really interesting. We don't get to do this sort of thing when you're working for the company. So this has actually been an amazing experience since I've been off of work. So thank you guys for reaching out. Alex, thanks for reaching out and inviting me and letting me ramble and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, more than you probably know. So I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That's rad.
We really dig talking to cool people about cool stuff. So
that's our really shitty masthead or our mission statement.
Yeah.
I believe it's like on YouTube or Twitter or something. Like we want to talk to cool people who do cool things. But
I appreciate that.
Okay, that was fun.
That was fun. I laughed. I didn't cry because I don't cry very easily, but like if I did cry easily, there would have been tears.
There was less inside jokes to haha funny this year, but there was more I'm educated and also I'm inspired. And I hope that works for you too, for other people who listen. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Fine, I'll go. So it's time. Let's say thanks.
Yeah.
We have so many people to thank. As we go through these lists, like as we're going to pick our top 8, and we see how many times our friends who've been on many times before, but as often as they lend us their time, they'll come talk with us. They'll come be on episodes. And we've said it before, but we wouldn't have made it this far without any of them.
It was a going through our episode list. Like, when we were pulling the top 8, I went all the way back to episode 1 and I scrolled through every single episode that we've done. And especially in the first year, it was kind of jarring to see how much we leaned on our close friends, and the fact that I never heard any complaints.
No.
Or, I mean, for all I know, behind closed doors, they're like, oh my God, Alex and JR are hitting us up again.
Got to do this damn thing again.
Yep. And it takes time. Like, especially back in the day, we would shoot the shit for hours before we even started recording the 45-minute to hour-long episodes. So we were taking their day, and they were just like, yeah, what are we talking about? And when I see how much, especially, man, Brett Kelly, I don't even know where to start with thanking this man, because just every other episode in the first 50, it's just like Brett, I'm scrolling right now, 16, 17. He was on 19.
He was also one of our earliest champions too. Because we watched Comic Men, the not Kevin Smith TV show that was kind of bad.
Yep.
And you, me, and Justin somehow decided we should try this.
Yep.
And we'd play with the idea, and Brett would be like, "Yeah, so do it." And we'd be like, it's and then at some point, we were complaining about Liefeld, and Brett is just posting podcast.
Brett, you son of a bitch.
But even if the three of us, if Justin, you and I, if one of us hadn't agreed to do it, then we never would have.
Yep. Yep. It's true. We do owe a lot to me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like you said, it wouldn't have existed without it. If either of you has said no, I'm not trying to take full credit here, but when I was like, hey, podcast maybe? If I got a no from anyone, if anyone had been like, nah, not really interested, it would have never happened ever. I needed it to be the three of us when we started out. And you were both on board. Everyone was on board. We went and, we started getting the equipment. And it was, man, it was a train wreck at first, but that first episode is some rough shit, but I refuse to delete it.
No, we're honest.
It shows where we came from, but obviously, it would be impossible to go through thank yous without thanking Justin for kind of helping us get this off the ground, and he did have the initial, I think it was 9 episodes, and then he had 3 or 4
a few
appearances.
More
after that. So even he was willing, after he decided to leave the show, he even he was willing to help us out. And he was
one of the members of the ill-fated Lost episode where we recorded an entire thing and then we were still kind of green in the gills, still learning processes and stuff. And I lost it. I lost half the episode. It just was gone. Something messed up. So like Justin came back. We re-recorded the entire thing.
It would have been easy to give up right there.
Yeah. We debated it. We're like, you know what? Why don't we just release what's available and just say the rest is lost and, give it like lore and mythic, properties and say that it was lost in time. But like, it definitely was not me. It was either you or Justin. You were like, no, let's just redo it. That's taking a lot of time and a lot of effort to just come and record a thing. When
do a
at the
thing
time,
again.
Yeah, and it's just our friends listening to it, But so huge thank you to Justin for not only helping get this off the ground, but also again coming back and helping us even after he had left.
And even today, Brett is still like sharing episodes and getting his friends to listen to him and posting us on other like podcast threads that I don't even know about sometimes.
Brett is our top fan.
He's still promoting us.
Brett is our verified top fan on Facebook. He's the only one so far who has earned it. I didn't even know that was a thing that we had until it was like, Brett's eligible to be your top fan. Do you want to approve this? So if you want to give Brett some competition in top fan stats, go and check out. That's facebook.com/opinionsmayvary, all one word. But yeah, huge thank you to Brett for the countless times he has stepped in, whether he was Skyping in from the Cape or joining us in person or even covering shows for us, because he's been to a couple shows either with us or in like acting as a representative, and talking with people and taking pictures and things like that. It's always been rad. So Brett, you're the man.
BK Art Merc on Instagram.
You can go see all of his art mercenary exploits. It's mostly art. It's pretty much all art.
Follow his appearances because he'll do shows. He sells stickers now. He's got a cool stack of stickers. They're neat but terrifying.
I have his stickers in a shocking, like, I think I bought 4 of them, and now they're just all over the stuff in my house. Yeah, his slaps are great. Who else are we thanking?
Colin?
Oh my God. Colin, our main man, Colin, who has been to shows with us. He's covered shows with us. He's done recaps with us. He has talked into the night, like, with us, just wasting his own time.
And I feel like he's one of the people willing to be the most combative.
Yep.
But not in a mean or hurtful way. But if he's disagreeing with you, he'll let you know and it'll still be fun.
Yep. I mean, see his latest appearance on the Star Wars episode a couple weeks ago. Because like you and I both enjoyed the movie and Colin did not. And we were able to have, it wasn't a screaming match between people who enjoyed it and people who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't any belittling or anything like that. He has a way of, here's what I think.
And it's fun.
It's good. It's good discord.
Yeah.
But another case of just, a very good friend of ours who always helps us out and has always been a longtime supporter of the show. And he just has that charisma.
Mm-hmm.
He has that moxie, I guess. That's a good one, right? We also have to thank Joe. Joe is probably my longest friend. My oldest friend, I guess. We've known each other since middle school. And I'm glad that we're able to, I don't want to say that this show rekindled our friendship, but it's one of the reasons that our friendship got really strong again, I think, because it led to us hanging out more. And Joe is crucial in showing us new stuff and covering, especially PAX. Yo, go check out our most recent PAX recap. It's our episode before this one, because Joe absolutely annihilated it. And he recorded that 2-hour show with no food, having not eaten dinner at all. And like by the time we wrapped up, it was like 11 p.m. and he's still like in his work clothes. He had just done like a seminar, or not a workshop that day. Like, and then he came and recorded a 2-hour episode with us. Are you kidding me, Joe?
Not even just the recording, but even in our Facebook post and whatnot.
Yep.
You sold short his lengthy review on the blog page.
Yeah. Yep.
So even like everything that he had written about the games that he reviewed, that didn't quite make it to the show. Like that's still, more work that he did for us.
That's a lot of like, sometimes writing the blog is just like, oh God, what am I going to write today? And then Joe just slams us with like a tome of just things that he wrote. And like some of the stuff was covered in the show, but I didn't want to hack it up because it was just so,
in the past,
much better.
He's also done year-end game reviews too.
Yep.
Like
he's reviewed
best games of 2017, I think it was.
Something like that. And then he's also reviewed just random games like the Mars Power Industries.
Mm-hmm.
He did one of the Tales from the Borderlands episodes. And like, just quick write-ups, and like he has a way of talking. Like essentially if Joe comes to me and says, yo, this game is good, I'm listening to his opinion, and I know that like there's going to be legitimacy behind it,
Mm-hmm.
But again, he's just one of our closest friends. He's one of our, quote unquote board members. And, he's always been willing to help us out when we need, looking to him, for guests or opinions or advice. He's not a yes man,
No. Yeah.
Like if we're like, hey, what do you think of this? It's like, okay, here's my opinion and here's where you might be able to do better. Things like that. So
if
Joe kicks ass,
if I'm wrong, he gives me an educated reason why.
Yep.
Like whereas Colin is funny, Joe like lets me know how and why, which is refreshing.
Yep.
It's not like you're wrong and the topic's dropped. It's like, well, here's some extra information that you might have missed. And I go, oh, that's a good point. Will?
Who else? Yes, Will. Yep.
I don't want to keep mashing them together, but as year to year, it's not a spooky season if we don't have either Will or John.
Mm-hmm. That's very. And if we're going through a spooky season and it's looking like, I think I ask you every week, like, are we having John on?
When are we having
Will on?
What did you schedule them for? They early or late. But yeah, even
again, that's two people with amazing knowledge
of vastly different things too.
Yes, yep. I love talking toys with John. I could do that all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then Will just knows okay, man. Will with the undersell of the century, with his scary story from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But again, more people who have helped us out in a bind, and also just being good friends, supporting the show.
And John, who even helped report on an event with 5 Points 2 years ago.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And Will also had what could be considered probably the funniest moment in the show's history.
That also got
showed up.
Go ahead.
What's that?
You go.
I was going to say he showed up with when we used to just talk about random stuff. He's like, hey, I wanted to cover this because I found it on the internet and I thought it was funny. But that was when Will found like all the reasons why the Hulk hulked out in the original television show. And he's like, every one of these, like I just read it like Droopy Dog. And then when he started reading them as if it was incredible. It was, and that was in like the first year. So like we peaked like 6 months in. It's all been downhill.
Yeah, ever since then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
If Brett's our biggest fan, I have to say our second biggest fan is Dave Herrick.
Yep.
Who's listened to us multiple times, repeats episodes. But it's fun hearing his opinions after we do an episode. And he'll go,
"Yep,
oh yeah, what you did here was great." And I go, "What? Who was that? When was that?" He's like, "Oh, that was."
He's like, "If it was you made do with what you got." And I was like, "Thanks, Dave." But I appreciate that and I respect that, because I feel like if it was just the yes man, oh, it was great, everything's great, like we're never going to change anything, and or know that maybe something we're doing sucks. But he's always been super supportive of the show. He's been rocking one of our pins. By the way, the pin's still available. Limited. If I say they're limited edition, does that generate anything? Like, does that make anyone want to buy one?
Whatever you do, don't sit there going like hotcakes. I'll slap you.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to say they're $5, and if you want them shipped, I think it's what, $7? Is that what we've been saying for 5 years now?
About, yeah.
But you can hit up Alex on the social medias, or just email alex@omvpodcast.com and say, hey, I want a pin. And we'll look into getting you a pin. The pins are pretty sweet. They're pretty sweet.
So I made a audio drama this year.
Yep.
within year 8. And it took a lot of help. And I asked a lot of questions, and I presented it to a lot of my friends so I could get a handle on if it was a good idea or a bad idea. And no one said it was a bad idea, so I went forward with it. There were points where I kind of didn't want to do it, and because I was nervous or I was worried or I wasn't sure if it was going to work. And you can hear 2 of those moments happen in episodes. One of them is with Colin, and it was in our 356, 357 split. I believe it was in the 357 one, because we're talking about Spider-Man so much. Spider-Verse came out. It was amazing. It's the best Spider-Man movie ever. We just kept talking Spider-Man. And at some point in there, I had said, as much as I like the movie, I kind of hate that movie. Because as a creative person, and you watch something that's perfect and realize, I'll never make something that good. It'll never happen. Why make? Why ever try to make? Because it'll never be as good as what we've seen and what's existed before. And Colin, thankfully, said, that's a bad opinion. The entire movie is that you can. There's not one Spider-Man. Anyone can be Spider-Man. Look at all the Spider-Mans. And he's like, so it doesn't mean you should stop. It means you can just be among people like you, and you can keep going. And that's no reason why you shouldn't make stuff. And I thought, I should make Starwell. And so some time went. What was that?
I was going to say you should, and you did, and it was great.
Some time went by, and I was thinking about it some more. We were talking to Jason, Chocolate Ninja Cosplay. He was 393, and I was in a delay period where I thought I had a plan, but I didn't have a solid plan on how to carry it out. And him being so positive and so energetic and so affirming that, like, if you want to do something, you should go ahead and do it. If you're into something, you should enjoy that thing, and don't let anyone hold you back from enjoying what you want to enjoy. If you like it, then like it. If you want to do it, then do it. And like you said earlier, his episode, I thought we were just going to talk to, like, I knew going into it, he's a good dude, and he cosplays, and he teaches martial arts, and he employs people in his cleaning business. But I had no idea how far we'd go with that. And his positivity pushed me to be like, yeah, it's happening this year. Because I was going to push it back some more. I was going to say, I'm not ready yet. But that him, giving us that chat made me go, yep, it's going to happen now.
I feel like I saw that happen.
I'm
in
writing
real time
it.
too.
I'm going to start writing it. I'm going to put together my group of people to tell me their thoughts, and I'm going to start looking for actors. So those 2 episodes affirmed Starwell to happen. It almost wouldn't have without those 2 episodes.
It was, and I mean, we owe massive thanks, obviously, to those 2 episodes, but also, I imagine you were getting there with Starwell in general, with all the people that helped out and lent, excuse me, again, their free time to help us. And again, when I say us, I can't take any credit for Starwell at all. So it's really helping you put that together and create it and make it and will it into existence. So I could click a few buttons and be like, oh, hey, we made this thing.
Thankfully, so far, people have said they want more, and no one has said, don't make any more. So that's good.
It is good. It was really neat to kind of see the excitement around it. And like, I could check in and be like, who's going over your house today to record? And you'd be like, I got this person, this person, this person. Like, it was really cool to be able to like sit in the stands and kind of watch, I guess. And then lend a hand at the very end and pretend like I was part of it. But it was very cool. So obviously, I mean, I'm kind of putting words in your mouth, but I'm going to say, big thank you.
Well, hopefully I get to thank them some more in the future.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Much thanks. Many thanks in the future. That was rad. I'm excited to see where you go with it.
Me too.
Bringing it back.
A couple of chores to get through first, then we'll look into making more.
We'll get there.
What do we think? Names time?
We can do names, yeah, because that'll lead into, wrapping up and thanking every guest and all that stuff. So we have our sign outs to do. Again, another one of the kind of traditions is Alex will put together all the sign offs from all the people we got to talk with. And is it just the people who've never been on before?
It's last year.
Okay, the last year of guests. Yep. So you can check this out. This was unbelievably entertaining for me. Allie, I don't think we gave you the rundown on how we close out episodes.
We did not.
You'll just say, and I'm Allie. That's all you have to say, because we're each gonna say our names, and then
we sign ourselves out.
Yep.
Okay, I can do that.
It's easy enough. But we've done this a couple times. We usually remember to tell people before we're actually an hour and a half into recording. That's all we have. That's done. We're done. We're gonna go do conventions now. For Ryan and Addison, I have been JR.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Randy.
I'm still Lisa.
And I was Colin.
I'm Rich.
And I'm Rocket.
I was Jason. I still am, but I was, so take care. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Andrew McLean.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Brett Kelly.
And I'm Derek Rosengrad.
I'm Nichelle.
And I'm Dave.
So for Christopher Jones and Domo Stanton, I have been JR.
And I'm Ellie.
And I'm Anthony.
And I think I'm Rich.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Allie.
And I'm Georges.
And I'm Vicky.
Jason.
I was and am Kyle.
He still is.
Still am.
Still is.
Still am.
Still am is.
You're the Kyles.
And this has been that was good.
Trademark.
And
Trademarked it.
I'm the most Kyle.
And lastly, but also most importantly, one of the most important things to us are you guys, our listeners.
Yep.
Because if we only ever got one download a month, we probably would have stopped doing this.
Yeah, long time ago. But people apparently keep listening. So yeah, and there may even be more people listening now than there were 8 years ago, potentially. It's really neat to see, like, every now and then I'll log in and I'll see like a spike of like, X amount of downloads, and like one day I'm like, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
And I can go and see like, oh, for some reason someone was listening to a string of episodes back in like the 250s for, I couldn't tell you why, but apparently someone wanted to. Yeah, obviously, like this, the main reason we do it is to try and entertain people. So hopefully people are entertained and learn about some things that they otherwise may not have been able to, they may not have known about.
It's also been great promoting people. Like, I don't want to call us promoters, but as often as we get to say, check out Brett's work, or go see Vixens on Guard, or look at all these artists' artwork, or go to these conventions, we're promoting, if not the convention, then the people that are there working, then the artists who are drawing things and making art or performances, and people who just do cool stuff. And we want to put them in front of your faces while we're in your ears.
Yep.
So that's one of my favorite parts, is I think I find something that other people should know about, and this is my way to do that.
I feel like if we've driven like one person to spend like $1 extra on something that they wouldn't have spent that dollar on, be like, okay, yeah, it was worth it then. Especially in times of need, like, people might be experiencing right now. Now is the time to support local artists. Live events are kind of out of the question, but you can still, if there's a CD or a shirt or a sticker that you've been thinking about getting,
you have to get a wedding gift. You want to get some boring plates or something, or you can get a custom etched glass or custom wood burning.
And they'll be gorgeous.
They will be. Yeah.
But huge thank you to everyone who's agreed to appear on our show and said, yes, I'll give you my night and record this thing free of charge, for all your listeners, and obviously the listeners themselves for tuning in and saying, yes, your show is something that entertains me, and they decide to listen to it. So couldn't do without either of those. So massive thank you to all of you. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm sufficiently tired, even though I barely did any talking this week.
You did a lot of talking.
I did but I guess I get it, because there's no guest to lean on. But this was sad, and it's sad in a good way, reminiscent, like nostalgic and all that. But
we get to look forward to a lot too. Yeah.
Here's to 400 more, or something like that. But I think that's all I have. I'm gonna go play Animal Crossing for like many hours now. Yeah. Thanks for being my co-host, Alex.
Hey, thank you.
We're doing it, man. we're doing something.
We're trying.
We're trying, but hopefully eventually we'll succeed. But yeah, I'm gonna stop, I guess. So that was fun. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again to everyone. Hopefully this came out okay with our individual locations. Hopefully it doesn't sound like trash, but it wouldn't be the first time. So I guess that's gonna do it. So until next time, I've been JR.
I'm Alex.
And this has been episode 400 of Opinions May Vary.